There we go. We live in a jungle of mediocrity, and the question is, how do we get out of that jungle? To get out of the jungle, we need a compass, and we need a magic compass. And this magic compass doesn't give us answers, but it asks us questions. And the questions to get out of the jungle of mediocrity are the following: why? Why not? What if? And what if not? So let's first look at the question of why. Why is the question of reason? Why is a really bad question? It can only give us reasons. A question that looks at facts. But facts like, why does ice float? The ice already floats. We look at it, it floats. And after we see that it floats, we can ask the question, why does it float? Why do the poles melt? We see them melting. It's a fact. They are melting. We see them melting. We can say, why do they melt? We will not say, why do they not eat vegetables? Because the question of why just looks at the fact that's a given and then asks why. So it looks for facts. And facts change really quickly. When I was Jasper's age, we had 9 planets, and I loved my 9 planets. Especially this one, Pluto. Boom, now it's gone. We have only 8 planets. That makes me really sad, but I accept it. Facts change, I find that okay. Facts also simplify, and that is really dangerous. They tend to be monocausal, to give only one reason. They tend to be monocausal. Our entire thinking tends to be monocausal. When let's just do a test, I think that's the easiest. The Panama Canal connects the Atlantic Ocean and the Pacific Ocean. Okay, you're familiar, Atlantic Ocean, Pacific Ocean, the Panama Canal. It does so at the thinnest connection between North and South America. North America, South America, Panama Canal. In which general direction does it flow? Does it flow north-south, up-down, or does it flow east-west, right to left? Think about it. It flows up-down. I was totally surprised. I thought it flows like that. The reason is there's this little crook. Boom, that's where it flows. Woof. And what we do not do, or what I didn't do, I didn't think about this little hook between North America and South America. So if one aspect of our calculation changes, we're totally wrong. If we would have bought a fleet that can use the winds that goes north-south, east-west, and all of a sudden there is no east-west because it's up and down, we're really screwed. And that is only one aspect that changed. In reality, life is much more complex. A very simple story is the story of Yosemite. People really disliked wolves. Little Red Riding Hood was eaten by a wolf, so they decided, let's kill all the wolves. So in the 18th century, all the wolves of Yosemite died and were shot. Then the hippies came, and they loved the animals and the wolves, and they said, let's reintroduce them. So in 1990-something, wolves were reintroduced to Yosemite, and everybody thought, great, it's just going to be like Yosemite, only with the wolves. But we have to know certain things. Yosemite is really populated by elks, and elks are lazy like people, and they like to eat where they drink. So there's a valley, and then there's a river. So what does an elk do? It goes, eats a little bit of grass, has a little drink, eats a little bit of grass, has a little drink. And when it eats what's growing at the river, because the river has the fresh water, it also eats willows. Willows. Willows are those trees that look like this. So since the deer was eating where the deer drank, the elk ate where they drank, willows couldn't grow. Now the wolves come, and what happens to the elks? The elks are afraid of the wolves. They eat on top of a mountain. A couple of elks are eating. The other elks watch. Oh, wolf is coming. And then they all run away. So the willows grow. Since the willows now grow near the river is in shade. There's a big shade. And the rivers get cooler. Cooler rivers have more fish. More fish supply more bears with food. So there's more fish, more bears. And the dung of bears is really good for letting flowers grow. So there's now more flowers. And insects need a lot of flowers, so there's now more insects. So the reintroduction of the wolf changed the temperature of the water, changed the big flora, the big trees, changed the insects, flowers, everything. Yosemite is now totally different because everything is connected as we do. So avoid monocausality. Monocausality, somebody gives you an answer, is really bad. Do not accept that. Fight monocausality. And the best weapon to fight monocausality is in the room. It is my son. And why is he the best weapon? Because he guessed, Dad, why? And then I give an answer. Because the ice flows because it's made out of, crystals. Why is it made out of crystals? Because it's in a different temperature. But why is it in a different temperature? So he just keeps asking why. And if you ask 4 or 5 times why in a row, you might come to the real answer. But it's really, really important. Do not accept monocausality. So, why might bring you insights, especially if you ask a lot of questions, but it will never, ever get you creative solutions. Creative solutions will not be born out of the question why. Why can analyze. The way to get creative solutions is to ask why not. Why not is a really, really good question. Why not opens possibilities. This, by the way, is the cafeteria of Google in Switzerland, and nobody said, why shall we have a slide going down? They all said, hey, why not? It's fun, you know. So why not is creative, and why not starts with a given, and then it's as choice, which is always good. And why not brands like Google and Apple and stuff are very, very dynamic brands, because they change the world we're living in. And visionary brands. So it's play, it's guts, and it's freedom. And even before Apple and Google, there were people that thought about why not. And the person I admire the most, or one of them, is Ruth Handler. In 1959, she traveled to beautiful Switzerland, and there she noticed a doll unlike any doll she's seen before. The dolls before that looked like that. They were a baby, and all you could do is like, oh, a doll. And that's it. And the doll she saw was sexy. It was feminine. It was hot. Perfect for little girls. Thought Ruth Handler. She bought the rights, and she actually sells 3 of these dolls per second. Those are her legs, that's her face, and that's the way she looks. And all of a sudden, girls started to play roles that are not just, I'm your little mommy, but I want to be architect Barbie. I want to be advertising Barbie. I want to fashion Barbie. And now, more than 50% of the students are females. And that's my personal opinion, but I totally believe it's because little girls can now play architect Barbie and not just mom. Why not? Really, really good thinking. Okay, the next question is what if? What if is the question of the future. What if, enterprise will really come? What if we do this? What if we have a phone that can touch, blah, 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 blah. And it's a question of multiple scenarios, because what if we do this phone? What if we do another solution? So multiple scenarios. And it's really, really complicated to work with multiple scenarios. And there's one way to do that, and that is to work with them one aspect at a time, and that's actually also written in Sun Tzu's Art of War. War is a really complicated thing, and he basically cut it into various things that are simple to understand. That's a 2,500-year-old book, I think, and so his language is a little bit weird. And he said the world is divided in heaven, earth, and people, and they have to be in harmony somehow. I'll explain what that means. Heaven is the given. I don't know if you can see that. That's a guy in the rain. If it rains or if the sun shines, we cannot change that. It's a given. The given is, for instance, the trends of our times. We live in certain times, and that's the given. It's relatively hard to change the entire society. In our times, the world we live in currently is digital. Everything is digital, and we have to know that digital things can be altered by users. It's very hard to create or to change a car that is existing. You can paint it, but if you have information, you can easily change it. Boom, I can change the picture, the color of the picture very easily. Photos can be changed by users. Information can be changed by users. Brands can be changed by users. And people will do that. And there's a lot of people that used to say, I want my brand to be sitting in the shelf with actually not even in the shelf, I want it to be sitting in a safe. I have a secret to make Coke, and I'm not going to tell anybody. And I put it in a safe, and nobody can touch that secret. And those days are over. Brands will be changed by users. They will work with them. Hijacking of brands is part of our times. Be happy about it. People will do it, and what they basically mean is, I like your brand, I play with your brand, I'm happy about your brand. So be happy when people change your information. Don't say, don't touch this, okay? Next thing that was heaven is earth. Earth is, in our case, for instance, I do advertising a lot, is the market. It's the ground where we fight. And it used to be that the earth has an end to it. Here's the edge, I can't go any further. And that those ends are melting away. Earth now travels everywhere, and the market now is everywhere. Online and offline world, for instance, become one. A very simple example, because I don't have that much time, is distribution. Distribution is normally where is your product available. Very important thing that you might know is that Coca-Cola, for instance, said in a city in the Western world, a Coke should not be further than 80 meters away from anybody. That's why they put Coke machines everywhere. But today, distribution is also Google. Where are you? Are you there? That's top 5. Nobody looks there. You have to be there. If you're on page 10, you don't exist. So distribution is now also online. There are very, very big changes happening right now. That's just one example. The market is no longer defined by suppliers. It is defined by customers, because the customer also gives the Google ranking. You can optimize it, but everybody optimizes it, and so forth. And today I think there's a very important saying that goes, if I tell my Facebook friends about your brand, it's not because I like your brand, but it's rather because I like my friends. So that is a very, very new way of thinking about brands and commercials. Then finally, people. People is what we do, how we act. And if you look at advertising or what you do in your life, it used to be that a lot of people played bowling. There was one goal, I want that customer, and then, or I want a house, or I want whatever that is. There's only one single goal, and if somebody takes action, it's me. I have to take the ball, woof, and I roll that in that one direction. That's bowling, but today I think there's pinball. It's a much better picture for that. We basically have many goals. That's a goal, that's a goal, that's a goal, and everybody plays. And even those people, they play back a message bigger and stronger than I deliver to them. So if there's some information online, the information is out of my hands, and people play with it, and they multiply it, and they play it bigger. So we have to start playing pinball and no longer bowling. So basically, cutting back to the heaven, earth, and people example, heaven is, what if the environment changes? What if digital becomes more important or less important? What if people die or insects die? What if my market position changes because an online shop is much more successful than I am? And what if I change my actions and I don't have this one goal and I have to hit it, I have to hit it, I have to hit it? Just give it away and let other people play also. Okay, the last question is what if not? I hope it's not too fast for you. It's the last question. What if not is the question of transcending, reaching higher levels. What if not is a really, really good question. And whenever I do anything, whenever I work for anything, the first question I ask myself, what if that object is not that object? For instance, what if is my computer is not a computer? What is it then? Is it a coworker? Or is it a friend? Or is it a part of myself? What is it? What if a phone is not a phone? What is it then? And if you ask that simple question, you have to come to an inner truth. You have to find a real truth. And that question was, for instance, asked by Harley Davidson. When Harley Davidson asked buyers why they bought their products, not a single top 10 answer referred to physical performance. There was nothing about horsepower, nothing about gas mileage, nothing about brake performance. It was as if Harley Davidson is not a motorcycle. Well, it isn't. We sell a way of life, and the bike comes for free. That's what Jeffrey Bluestein says, and I think he's totally right. So where is the Harley in this picture? Where is it? The true Harley, obviously, is there. It's the freedom, it's the United States, it's the blue skies, it's the mountains. That's what you buy. This is the thing you give money for, but that is what you want. And that is really important to understand. So the question what if not helps to find your true character. And you can apply the question what if not to anything. I know that a lot of people go to basic, if you believe in God or if you don't believe in God, what if God exists? Or what if God does not exist? Would you change your action? Would you be a different person? Would you be meaner or would you be friendlier if he were to exist? If you ask yourself that simple question, you might find the true core of your personality. I'm only nice because God exists, and if I'm not nice, boom. Or not, you know. So what if not is a really, really good question. So coming back, it helps you find the soul of whatever you do and whoever you are. So why not, what if, and what if not are really good questions. Why analyzes the past, but it tends to be monocausal. It starts with a given and it says why happened what happened. Why not is a much better question. It opens possibilities and it's truly creative. What if looks at the future and it tends to be multi-optional. If you're a manager, the thing you want to be is you want to have a lot of choice. Multi-optionality is really, really good. So ask the question what if, and what if not finds the core of everything. What if not is a really good question. So how do we get out of the jungle of mediocrity? Just ask the right questions. Thank you.
Dankeschön.